Hi everyone. This set of notes is going to be about fraction busters. So your essential question for this fraction buster set of notes, what does it mean to actually bust a fraction out? So how to bust fractions out of the equation. For number one, you're going to find the LCM for the denominators. Again, LCM stands for the lowest common multiple. And then number two, you're going to multiply every term by the LCM, the lowest common multiple, and bust out that fraction. So let me show you a quick example real fast. So we see that we have fractions all over the place. They definitely don't have a common denominator, so what we want to make sure we have all fractions there. So every single number, so go ahead and put a 1 underneath a value if it's not there. And so we're going to look to see what number 4, 1, and 2 all have in common for the lowest common multiple. Well, we know you always want to start off with the highest number. So you want to check, does 1 go into 4? Yes, 4 times. Does 2 go into 4? Yes, 2 times. So 4 is actually going to be our lowest common multiple. So we get to now, step 2, multiply every single fraction by the actual LCM. So multiply this one by 4, multiply this one by 4, and multiply this one by 4. This was over a 1. Okay, so that part is now we see 4 divided by 4. That gets us left with just our 3x plus 1. 4 divided by 1 is just going to be 4. So you multiply that 3 and 4. So this is going to be plus 3 times 4, which is 12. And then we have, how many times does 2 go into 4? 2 goes into 4 2 times. And then, of course, you just have a 1 on the denominator down there. So that 1 right here, but whatever 2 divided by 1 is just going to be 2. So we're going to ignore that. However, you do have a 5x minus 1 times 2 out there. So you're going to distribute that value so we can actually see what the actual equation would be. So 2 times 5x is a 10x. 2 times a negative 1 would be negative 2, and so we get 10x minus 2. And then here we're just going to combine like terms, whatever we can. So I see that I have a 3x plus 13. Now I'm just going to go ahead and actually solve for x. I'm going to try and get x on one side. I see I have more x's on this side, so I'm going to try and not get rid of them there. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides here. And then I'm going to be left with a 13 here equals 7x minus 2. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. I get 15 equals 7x, and my last step is to divide both sides by 7, leaving me with a fraction as x equals 15 over 7. I can't simplify that fraction because there's not a number that goes into the numerator and denominator, so this is my final value. For our next example for fraction busters, so again, look at your denominators here, 4, 8, and 3. Start with your highest number. I know 4 goes into 8, but 3 does not. So I have to go to my next highest number. So 8 plus 8 would be 16. Well, 3 still doesn't go into 16. 4 does. So I'm going to add another 8, which we get 24. I know that 3 actually does go into 24. So this is my lowest common multiple. I am now going to multiply all of my fractions by. So go ahead and multiply this by 24. This whole thing has to be 24. So if there's not parentheses there and you have two values, like a binomial up there, you need to multiply or put parentheses around them. So now, how many times does 4 go into 24? So we have 6. So let's cross those out, and we get 6. Okay, so let's write that down here. So 6x minus, bring down that sign, 8 goes into 24. We just saw 3 times. So now I have a 24. I'm actually just going to, sorry, not 24. I'm going to distribute this while it's up here. So a negative 3 times 2x is going to be a 6x. And then 3 times 1 is going to be, sorry, negative 3 times 1 is a negative 3. Equals, and now 3 goes into 24 how many times? So we have 8 times. So there is that. And now I'm going to distribute this at 8 times x. I get 8x. 8 times 1 is a 8. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms on this left side. I have positive 6x and negative 6x, so those cancel out. I'm left with a negative 3 here. And then I can't combine anything on that right side, so it's just 8x plus 8. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that 8 because I have the x already on that side. So if we have a negative 8 minus 3 more, we actually get a negative 11 equals 8x, and then we're going to divide by 8 to be our fraction to get rid of the division or multiplication happening. And again, I cannot simplify my fraction, so I'm going to leave it as negative 11 eighths. So we busted that fraction out of all those crazy numbers.